What's up, guys? Got some new surprises for you. I've been learning how to use Ecamm Live, which is a platform where I'm able to go live and stream on YouTube. And so last night, I was just dipping into this thing. I'm like, how can I improve my live streaming for my viewers, my clients, and videos that I, will edit and, make better in the future? And you know how I recorded another live stream recently using StreamYard, but come to find out, what I had already has everything StreamYard offers, right? So I was just blown away. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. My name is Denzel Rodriguez, your personal finance geek of the 21st century. And I'm coming to you this evening to talk about how to give in a crisis. Okay, we're going to talk about how to give in a crisis, and we're also going to cover jobs, opportunities, and work that some of you may have to do because of the recent things that have been going on in the economy. And for others, this may be a light bulb for you to consider different jobs, opportunities, different works that you can get into that could potentially double, maybe triple your income over the next year, few months, who knows. So I thought that'd be super valuable to you guys, okay? And I want to say hello to the people who are in the house already. Check this out. Ready? This is another thing that blew me away that I didn't know I could do this whole freaking time I've been going live on Ecamm. Ready? So shout out to William Johnson. Says, tomorrow is a strategic day for me. Hope to make the right decisions. Look at that comment. Bam, right there on the screen. Love it. Hidden says, we here. Can't wait for the surprises. So I just dropped 2 surprises on you. I got my intro, right? I'm able to dump, an intro in to start the live stream off nice and clean. And then it comes right to me. At the end of the video, I'll be doing the same exact thing. I'm basically going to have a outro video. So once I say goodnight, it'll go pop, right to another screen, and we'll go from there. Dave Sincere says, okay. Hidden says, got my notebook ready. Joel with the thumbs up. Hidden says, hope everyone is safe in here. Yes, we are. Kingdom citizens, we are immune to this crisis, my friend. Sith Lord says, hi, Denzel. Chris Lundy's here. Joel says, nice. Selvin, hey, Denzel. How are you? I'm doing fantastico. All right. Now, what I don't know how to do, okay, I didn't know how to take the comments off the screen, but I just figured that out. So, if you're in the house, you're just tuning in, you know that you are free to drop whatever question that you have. It could interrupt my whole session. That's okay. I'm here for you. So what I have in mind may not be what you are stressing on or have a pertinent question on. So feel free to drop your questions in the comment, testimonials, have conversations with people in the group, because these are your fellow kingdom citizens, people that you most likely will potentially meet in the future. Who knows? I plan on doing live events and traveling the country soon, talking about what we go over on this channel, which is velocity banking, infinite banking, and kingdom authority. These are 3 primary concepts that we teach to help you, get out of debt, increase cash flow, build your credit score, leverage capital, lower your expenses, ultimately build wealth, and build a big, beautiful kingdom for your family that you fully operate. All right? So let's go ahead and dive into the first lesson, which is how to give in a crisis. How do we do it? What I'm going to do is simply share with you what I've been doing on these past live streams, demonstrating what a cheerful giver does, how they do it, and how you can fortify your giving with the Lord so that He recognizes what you're doing. You can declare it, that this is a giving moment in your life. You are declaring that when you give, you shall receive. You are putting God's word to the test, right? This is something that is so interesting to me that no one ever taught me in the church. No one ever showed me the exact strategic principle, fundamental laws that if I do this, I get this. And if I do this, I get that. Like point blank, there's no gimmicks in God's Bible, in God's book. No gimmicks. It's straightforward. Can it be hard to understand? Sure, but that's with anything, right? And the more time I put into something, for example, learning velocity banking, the more time I put into a particular concept, a particular task, the better I'm going to get at it. Okay? One thing that blew my mind recently is I learned how to pray. This blew my mind. Now, this is going to be incorporated in my lesson this evening. Is on my car ride to the office and prior to leaving, I was watching a sermon on how to pray in the kingdom. And I found it very interesting how the particular pastor explained the definition of praying or pray, which he defined it as when you are praying to God, you are petitioning, you are pleading. And when you plea or you petition for something, you're basically, throwing up your signs, alerting the authority of your rights as a citizen in that country. So if you and I were to petition against Washington or a particular law in your state, what would we do? We'd have to sign a petition. We are pleading to enact something that we inherently have as American citizens, that a government or particular authority should not take away. So what do? We petition. So in a sense, we're praying that a particular government, a president, an administration will change a particular law or a lifestyle, way of living. It works the same exact way in the kingdom. If I pray to God, see, my whole life I've been praying to get God to do something for me, where in His Word, He already promised particular things throughout Scripture that He would give to me. When we're praying to God, instead of praying, oh Lord, please remove this sickness from me. Lord, please get me out of debt. Lord, please find me a new job. Rather than trying to get God to do something, when you're praying to God, you should be commanding, or I should say, demanding your right, your rights. So when I pray to God, I am making a demand, right? I'm not just requesting something that I hope will happen. No. If you are a kingdom citizen in the kingdom of heaven, you have inherent rights as a kingdom citizen. Just like an American citizen, you have rights, right? So in order to display your rights as an American citizen, if you got caught in a pickle, let's just say, what do you need? You would need to get a lawyer, right? The only reason why you hire a lawyer is because you don't understand or fully understand your rights as an American citizen. So you have a lawyer who talks on your behalf, right? So they are basically praying for you on your behalf in the courtroom to get something done. Works the same way in the kingdom. You are personally praying to God for something to occur in your life that He already authorized. So when I'm praying to God, I am authorizing God to get full access into my personal life to impact my personal life so that I can impact others, make a difference, make a change. So my first message to all of you who want to learn how to give in a crisis, how to get over this crisis, how to thrive, how to become successful, how to get out of debt, a critical part of your financial journey is going to be prayer, but not the way you've been taught your whole entire life in the traditional terms of, getting on your knees and saying religious stuff, right? Just religious stuff. You ever pray and run out of things to say? Could it be that you've been praying incorrectly your whole entire life? Could that be? I'm just putting that out there. Now, if you have not experienced that, if you know how to pray and you get the result, then you continue to do that particular thing. But I know a lot of people who do not pray because they don't get what? Results. That is a typical human reaction to a particular event. If you do something over and over and over and over again, what do we call that? Insanity. It is insane to pray a particular way and not get any results. This is very dangerous, what I'm saying right now. Very dangerous. I'm sure a lot of Christian people in the room are, whoa, did he just say that praying a particular way and not getting results is insane? Yeah, I'm going to stick to that for right now until someone can maybe educate me, because I'm entitled to make mistakes. 24 years old, got a lot to learn, got a lot to give, okay? Let me put that out there. But I am challenging God every single day because I know his power. I am bold enough and I am challenging him to authorize kingdom living in the physical so that I can create an impact and do something for real and do something that will change lives. Otherwise, what's the point of me praying and not getting results? Could it be that I am praying incorrectly? Or is God's word incorrect? Is what he says incorrect? Not true, not factual, right? So it's going to be one or the other. Either I'm wrong or he's wrong. I'm putting my chips on me being wrong for right now. I think I've been doing it wrong for the past, I don't know, since this time I started praying as a young boy, like around maybe 6, 7 years old, when I first started, going to Catholic school and doing my communion and all that good stuff. Maybe I've been praying wrong. Let me enact, change, or improve how I pray. And I'd love to get your thoughts on that as well. How have you been praying in this crisis? How have you been behaving? How have you been showing up? What are your ways of being when you operate with your finances, with your family, with your journey, your life journey, and your life goals? Okay? So that's the first thing. Let's put that off to the side. Let's get into how to give in a crisis. I want to declare to God right now and his people as witnesses that we're going to declare some giving. Now, his word says that when you give, you shall receive exceedingly and abundantly, right? Shaken together, I can never say that word, that scripture right. Pressed down, shaken together, running over, right? And there's multiple scriptures that can back that up that are, coherent, right? They match up, right? So let's go right into it. Let's see what we can do here. If you haven't watched any of my previous live streams over the past week, I've been giving away my Velocity Banking Manifesto course, which basically teaches you, it's a do-it-yourself course. And there's a private community in there where you can drop questions, receive feedback, and help as well on your financial journey. The program is geared around your finances, but I also talk about kingdom. I talk about creating content. I talk about 10xing your life, 10xing your income. So it is a 1-year full access to the manifesto, no strings attached. All I need is the person's name, first name, last name, email. The particular people that I'm giving the manifesto away to are military, any branch, police officers, medical and first responders, and today I'm adding firemen or firefighters in general. Okay, so really people on the front lines that are handling the crisis, or people that, on average, regular people putting their lives at risk every single day to protect people like us. And this is my way that I can give my wisdom and knowledge and time to people that protect our country, protect us from crisis, and help us get through these tough times. So if anyone knows anyone, a friend, family, whomever, that works in the military, any branch, police officer, firefighter, medical or first responders, people that are dealing with the crisis, I should say, in this line. If you're a doctor, you got money, you can afford this. But really kind of targeting the nurses, the people on the front lines doing all those tests that are working countless hours right now, those are the people I want to target, because they're going to be drained once this crisis is over, and they're going to have a new problem, which is their finances, because all they've been doing is work, 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 work. They have not had any time to just sit back and maybe learn something, right? Because they're literally on the front lines, working their tail off. So this is going to be a gift to them. And this is a way that you watching at home can gift something that doesn't require any work from you. You just simply share. Share. You are my testimony. You are my people that will go out and share the good news, okay? So yeah, anyone you know, military, police, firefighters, medical first responders, have that person reach out to me. They email me at denzel@buildertocontributor.com. I have it written multiple times. If you go on my website, it's there. It's pretty much everywhere. denzel@buildertocontributor.com, all one word. I would need their first name, last name, email address, their rank, what do they do, how long, give me a little story so that I can pretty much verify who they are, so that we don't get people that are, taking advantage, which I know some people will at the end of the day, and it is what it is. But if we can limit it to the most, then I would be, very grateful for that. Let's see, how's my screen and audio? I want to make sure everything is correct. Just give me a thumbs up if my audio and everything is doing good so far. Just double checking everything is working just fine. I want to make sure. Let's see, so I'm just gonna look at the comments real quick so I can keep up to speed with the comment section. Okay, Hidden, thank you for that. Everything's perfect, great. Hidden says, praise the Lord. Also says, let's build our kingdoms. Indeed, indeed. Torian Sawyer says, what's up, Denzel? Eli says, hi. Hidden says, you are praying but have to ask for confirmation. Okay. He brings it on his time, not your time. Yes, that's another thing I would add in terms of prayer, that you shouldn't be praying for what you want God to do. Rather, you should be praying to God saying, hey, how can your will be done on earth through me? Another impactful thing that I heard this pastor talk about during his sermon on how to pray is he referenced another gentleman that passed away. I forgot his name. But he simply said this. He said that God will not do anything on earth without man, and man cannot get anything done without God's interference. So man can't, cannot, God will not. So if you've ever wondered or questioned God on those high questions, those high doubts and fears that, hey God, how come sex trafficking and child trafficking, rape, murder, violence, diseases, and natural disaster, How come all of these things happen, yet you're this almighty, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-loving God? And I still don't have that definitive answer, but something that can help you shift, say, the responsibility and understanding of why these things occur is because man cannot get things accomplished without the interference or help or authority of God on earth, and God will not do anything on earth without God's interference. So when we pray, we are authorizing God to exercise his will on earth. And sometimes his will is not aligned with your will. Because you have to remember, if you're a kingdom citizen, you are recognizing that you are not the what? The Almighty King, that you don't own this body, nor do you own the earth or anything that creepeth of the earth. You are a manager, right? You are under management. You have ownership and rulership, but you're not the source, right? So once we begin to crack open these, hard, tough questions that most, people in the church evade with simple answers like it's in God's time and it's God's will and blah, 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 and all those simple answered stuff that people are asking real hard questions, especially in times of crisis. When you're going through pain and challenges and obstacles, you begin to doubt and have unbelief and not so faithful. So when that occurs, you ought to look back. You gotta look back in order to sometimes look forward, right? Sometimes you gotta take 2 steps back, to realign and figure out what did I miss? What happened there? Okay. Benny says, God bless you all. Yvonne, how do you feel about Grant Cardone empire failing? And she also says, I meditate. So coming back to this, how do you feel about Grant Cardone's empire falling? Oh, not failing, falling. Interesting. I've watched some videos, so I don't know how accurate it is just yet. Here's one thing I do know. Grant Cardone is not a kingdom citizen or a kingdom man or man of God. He just clearly doesn't, submit to that way of being, or clearly doesn't share the same, I should say, beliefs that you and I might share. The concept of 10x by itself is neutral. It's not evil or bad. It's a neutral thing, kind of like money. Money is neutral. Once someone touches it, then it either becomes a righteous act or a unrighteous act, a just act or an unjust act. So same thing with 10x. The 10x concept to me is a neutral concept. When it's in my hands, I authorize God to do righteous works through my life with that concept of 10x. I don't know how his current empire is doing. I guess I need to read up on it. But if it were to fail, God's very clear on other kingdoms, other principalities, that they will not last if they're not aligned with the kingdom. He's very clear on that. So who knows? Maybe this is a trying time for Mr. Uncle G. Now, he still has a special place in my heart, and I wish him the best. I'm not going to, I should say, ride the bandwagon, so to speak. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens over the long haul with Grant and what he does. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I heard some things that he fired a bunch of people off his team. I heard that a bunch of people can't get access to their money and card-owned capital. Now, this is super important. I say this all the time. When you are applying for things such as a line of credit, a HELOC, a credit card, right? A life insurance policy, a investment strategy, a real estate investment. If you do not read between the lines, you are a fool, okay? Now, I've read the requirements and how the card-owned capital works. And in the fine print, it clearly says that you are not allowed to withdraw any of the money that you invest in card-owned capital for a number of years. It is a long-term investment, kind of like your 401k. So people that get mad at that, they should be mad at themselves for dumping a bunch of money in thinking that they can get access to it whenever they want. It is not a liquid investment. It is a very illiquid investment. The point of it is to create a sustainable amount of wealth over the long haul. Getting rich for sure is what Grant says when you invest in card-owned capital. He wants to help people get rich for sure, not get rich quick. So if you missed that, if you invested in card-owned capital and you thought you can get your money, shame on you. I was reading in the comments, a dude said he put like over 6 figures in card-owned capital and now is complaining that he can't get this money because we're going through a crisis. Well, I would tell that guy, look, listen, you're a clown for putting all your money in one basket, if you did actually put all your money in one basket or a big portion of your money. You're a clown for that, number one, and you're a clown for not reading between the lines. Super important. So I'll just say that regarding Grant. And it says you have to pray and let God know it is in his hands, correct? That's another form of humility during your prayer. You are being humble in your prayer. Okay, that's important. Joel says, when I pray, we don't sit idle. Idle equals rigor mortis, pray then act. Rigor mortis. Yeah, explain that. Pray then act. Hidden says, ask him to open the doors, open the opportunities and doors, but I don't believe there is a right or wrong way. More just have to do it wholeheartedly and just ask for his confirmation, and you can ask for it directly. Okay, that's reasonable. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have been praying, let's say not wrong, but ineffectively. Ineffective prayer is prayer that doesn't bring results, okay? You know, the average human says, why do anything if not get results, right? The average person would think that way. You know, why am I going to do something if I'm not going to get any results? Doesn't make sense, right? So when it comes to prayer, you know, right now, currently in my journey with Christ, my walk with God, my challenge in the past and then up until this point is when I was praying in the other way that I was doing, trying to get God to do something for me all the time, there were no results. But as soon as I tweaked it and improved my prayer, I began to get massive 10x results in a short period of time once I recognized the rights that I have as a kingdom citizen, right, in his kingdom. So that was, you know, it's been really important to me to try and get that, because once I get that, I become dangerous. You become dangerous. Let me tell you, once you become a kingdom citizen, you become dangerous. You have enough knowledge to be dangerous. And it's up to you whether you exercise that authority righteously or wickedly. Pick one, right? Whichever way you want the confirmation. Hidden says, I am dealing with the crisis work in CVS. Yep. Shout out to all essential grocery store employees. They're real MVPs. Yep. They're working hard. Joel says, all good. Oh, yeah, good. Okay. Chris Lundy says, love your classes. God gives us free will, so he allows us to choose our own direction as long as it's in line with his plan with us. Yes. It's duality. Yep. So the Most High is about to do his will on earth, question mark. Bring on the karma. Start with the powers that be. Bring the old Kanye back. Okay, that was a joke, I'm assuming. Okay. Do you guys like the old Kanye or the new Kanye? I like both. I'm not gonna lie, his chorus is phenomenal in my opinion. But you know, I mean, his old music will always be classic. Too bad you're not gonna get any more of it, because I believe he quit all that. Someone told me a story because I asked some question. He said Colombian woman was killing her people with drugs and she committed murders. He let her live and give her two times repent, them eventually locked her up. She finally cleared and repented after being locked up, but she was responsible for what she did and ended up dying coming out of a grocery market. Okay, so you're telling me like a little story on, all right. Chris Lundy says, damn, a Ponzi scheme. Probably referring back to Grant Cardone, right? Hey, man, I don't know. Don't know. What I can tell you is I just came back from a 10X Growth Conference, number 4, and there was over 12,000 people there. And this man, Grant Cardone, literally raised $20 million from the stage to invest in a recent real estate transaction, I think in Naples, Florida or something like that. It was like an $85 million deal, and his goal was to raise, I think, $30 million from the stage, which I believe he did because he has that property as of right now. So by no means what he does doesn't not work. It certainly works what he does. The ethics behind it, I don't know, but all I can say is that when I followed the concept, not him per se, but the concepts, because him is a totally different story, right? Here's a man that, you know, he curses a lot and says what he says, and, you know, maybe sometimes doesn't think about what he says and, you know, comes back, says a different thing. You know, that can happen. My concern, my strategy, using what the Bible says, remember in the 2 verses that I gave you guys in the book of Luke, that Jesus was informing his disciples to go make friends with the rich and the wealthy, because they are better managers than the children of light. The children of light being the Christians, the Catholics, the believers. So Jesus himself is saying that his own people are poor managers, great believers, tons of faith, but they manage money poorly. They manage resources poorly. So what Jesus was saying is go make friends with the rich because they know how to manage. What they don't know is how the kingdom operates, and that's where they would come in, the believer to help them, the rich helps them back in terms of understanding how to manage, multiply, be fruitful on this earth, which was God's original intent for mankind, is understanding that, right? So very, very, very important. Some people do not want to take responsibility for their actions when their actions do not turn out the way they wanted. Yes, totally agree with you, my friend. Joel says rigor mortis is when the body starts to stiffen up after it's dead. That's why you don't want to be idle too long. Pray, then act. Oh, okay. Like that analogy. Jesus says, damn, he scammed people for $20 million. Hey, I don't know, man. We will see, right? We'll see. If he comes out of this thing richer than the way he came into the crisis, then the people that stood the storm, rode with him, are going to do well, right? But if it was all a scheme, then I can guarantee you he'll be on American Greed, that show. Because what Grant has done in the last 2 decades is just incredible. I mean, when you look at it from the outside looking in, it's like, it is incredible the mindset that he put in other business owners, the way he shifted people's minds around 10X. It's insane, insane. So coming back, one-year manifesto, please reach out to those people that you know. The other thing that I'm doing down here, if you haven't noticed just yet, is with my one-to-one financial coaching, which is the Velocity Banking Bundle. It is $14.97. It's one-on-one coaching with me, right? And the original product and service is lifetime access to the Manifesto and my private master classes where I run people's numbers, pretty much have them on the phone right there with me, or in the comments, commenting on their own financial situation and pretty much walking them through a strategy for them to implement the concept to get out of debt and ultimately build wealth. Now, the length of that program is 19 months. What I've done starting this evening up until, I want to say May 31st, I believe is what I have on the landing sales pages. I'm going to change it where anyone that signs up for the one-on-one financial coaching from me, we're going to learn velocity banking, infinite banking, kingdom authority, 10x, how to create content, build your business, create wealth, that whole process. Now, what I am guaranteeing is that I will work with you one-on-one until you are debt-free. So if our original plan, let's say the first couple conversations we have, we determine that, in order, let's say you have $500,000 in debt, right? And in the first 2 or 3 phone calls, after you get your line of credit, your debt tool, you get your 4 major numbers, you get everything in line, you get all positioned for velocity banking. We come out of this crisis, all well, and we determine that it's going to take you, say, about 6 years to become debt-free if we stick to the financial plan that we would create together. So I'm guaranteeing that I'm going to work with you one-on-one until you are debt-free. The way it's going to work, which I already do, is we have bi-monthly phone calls. And it'll say that on the page already. So this isn't required. I work with some people who are very smart and they pick up this stuff really, really quickly, and sometimes we end up only talking every few months or every couple months or maybe every quarter or maybe 2 or 4 times a year. It's not required, right? But the maximum amount of phone calls that we would, have in a year is about maybe 6 to maybe as high as 8 phone calls in a year. So what I like to do is keep it on a bi-monthly basis, right? Where, these are 1-hour consultations. So 1-hour consults, you and me, one-on-one, writing out the numbers. I even make videos, not right off the bat, but over time I create videos with your permission, of course. I never use people's names or anything like that. I simply tell a story, tell a situation, write the numbers out, and then I, post that in the masterclass or maybe even the Manifesto platform for others to learn off your numbers. But at the end of the day, they're your numbers. So that one video is pretty much going to be effective for maybe the first year or so. So that's what I'm adding to this offer. So the price stays the same. I'm just adding even more support. So financial coaching until you're debt-free, bi-monthly calls, 1 hour each. Let's say you're not that much in debt. Maybe you're $100,000 in debt, and maybe it's going to take you 2.5 years, or maybe less. Just depends from person to person, your 4 major numbers. On average, velocity banking helps people get out of debt in about 5 to 7 years is the standard number that most velocity banking experts, other YouTubers use. They use that number, 5 to 7 years. What I've said in the past is really at the end of the day, velocity banking helps you go about 50% or more faster than debt snowball. Because at the end of the day, the debt snowball concept or the debt avalanche concept or the minimalist approach or the frugal approach, whatever other financial concept that is out there that does not leverage debt to our advantage, we'll pretty much go faster than them every single time, because we're learning how to use debt to our advantage. So not only are we learning how to get out of bad debt, right? We're learning how to get out of bad debt, become free from the system, not, chain bound by a particular way of doing things. So we get out of the bad debt by leveraging good debt, right? And I know you're going to constantly hear people say debt is debt. I understand that. That's what the Bible says too. Debt is debt, right? The Bible doesn't really ever recommend people to go into debt. Now, God has authorized people to leverage debt. He has authorized that, and you can vividly read that through scriptures, through different stories. I know there was a time when God told, I think, a woman to go and borrow to get a particular task done. There's also that famous story that almost every preacher uses about the three stewards, or the three, there were, the story of three men. One was given 1 talent, the other one was given 2 talents, and the other one was given 5 talents. Okay, from a logical perspective, what does it mean if I lend you something? It ain't yours, right? So God gave these 3 men 1 talent, 2 talents, 5 talents. So these 3 men are in what? Debt. God himself put those 3 in debt. He lended those tools, those talents, and what did he say to go do with it? Right? Go, multiply, work, manage the resources that you have been given. Now, to translate that, I guess, into the modern world, the 21st century of how money works currently, is you live in a debt-driven society. Whether you like it or not, you live in a debt-driven society where the actual dollar, the money, has no value. It's not tied to anything. No real tangible assets such as gold or silver, so there's no standard. The US dollar is the world reserve currency for only God knows how much longer. Okay? So once we understand that, if money has no value, therefore I really should not be concerning myself with, okay, I need to save this money. Because savers are losers in the particular economy that you're in, and that is based on how you save. See, if this was, cash right here in your hand, if you save it like the man with 1 talent by stuffing it in the dirt and not doing anything with it, then you'll still have 1 talent in those times. But see, it's even worse in today's time. If I stored money in the dirt in my backyard and I dig a hole and I put my money in there as my emergency fund, or I stuff it under my mattress, put it in a shoebox, put it in the bank, and I do no thing with the money, it's even worse, because you actually won't end up with what you had when you put it in the dirt. See, when you go to take it out of the dirt and go and actually use it, the money is worth less than when you originally put it in the dirt. So let's say you put $1,000 in the dirt in the backyard, right? That's your emergency fund, $1,000. Woohoo, right? 1 year later, you got to tap into that emergency fund. An emergency happened in your household. Guess what? That $1,000 is now worth $950 when you actually go to use it. In terms of your buying power, it's worth $950, or maybe it's worth $900. Or once we get out of this crisis, it'll be worth even less, okay? A lot less. So once you begin to realize that, then we get to define things where we say, okay, there is such a thing as bad debt. There is such a thing as good debt. Now, how do I leverage the money in this economy so that I can maximize my dollars through a crisis, out of a crisis, before a crisis, so that I can accelerate my debt payoff timeline. It has never ever made sense to me to feel the pain of a particular thing just so that I can have a relation to it. Doesn't make sense. If I can avoid the pain, so to speak, let's say of paying off debt, if I can avoid that pain of paying off debt, high interest rates, I'm gonna avoid it. Kind of like when mom tells you when you were a little kid, hey, don't put your hand on the stove because it's hot. And then here you are, Curious George, puts your hand on the stove and you burn yourself. That could have been avoided. Now, I do understand that there are some pains, some obstacles in life that we must go through, that we must face, kind of like the pain of moving out of your parents' house. That's a challenge. That could also be painful, especially if you're a mama's boy like me, right? But there are pains that can easily be avoided by which your parents or elderly have gone through, which you can avoid. Because you can have the wisdom and the foresight to say, oh, my grandparents went through that. Let me not do that. Oh, my mom did that and failed. Hey, let me not do that. Let me just maybe improve on that. Get better at it. Okay? So that's all we're saying here on this channel is, hey, how can we avoid particular mistakes, particular traditional concepts that have become invalid, or let's just say ineffective in a market that we're in today? Let's have a conversation about that. And then how do we move forward? Okay? Let's turn over to some of the comments here. See what people have to say. If I missed your comment, forgive me, because I'm not looking through YouTube. I'm looking like on my beautiful platform here to make sure I try to click on every comment. So here's something. My mortgage company is offering 3 months forbearance, which means I have to pay the 3 months at the end. Using Velocity Banking, do you think it is worth using the 3 months of mortgage money? That's a good one. Let's see. How do we make sense of that? So I'm just going to erase this. So we got that offer. You guys already know of that. You can look in the description below at any time. Click on that when you're ready to, work with me one-on-one in terms of financial consulting, and then the top offer. So I've declared these two things as, well, this is more so giving. That, that includes paying money. So I don't know if we're, I'm giving more stuff, but, you still got to pay for it. But this is free. So that's more so giving. This is more so of a financial marketing move to get people to obviously take action on their finances. So let me not declare that. That's business. This is giving, right? So back to that question. I think it would be best if you, say, have low income, no job, loss of income, tight cash flow, right? Low cash flow, no debt tool, right? Just ultimately in the weeds because of the crisis. You're in the weeds. And so if you're someone like along this area, then yes, it would be, a move to make to essentially ease the pain of this particular crisis, to maybe make a couple of moves to use that money to do a couple of moves to put you in a better financial position, and then have the funds to basically pay those 3 months in full when you go to pay that back. Now, the danger, my friend, the danger, no matter what position you are in, this is a strategy for the banks. So before you do anything that a bank offers you in the mail, over the phone, through email, whatever it is, I want you to always look at a situation from the other perspective. Why in the world would a bank, mortgage company that's in the same global crisis that you are in? This isn't a personal crisis. This is a global crisis that we are in that we have never experienced before. Nobody on planet Earth has experienced this new type of crisis. With that being said, why on earth would a bank or mortgage institution that's suffering similar to how we're suffering in a different way, right? Why would they make that offer? That is a deception. That is a strategic plan to take that mortgage right from under your nose, right? Because let's say you're not able to pay those 3 months. Let's say you use those 3 months to do velocity banking on a debt, to try and increase cash flow, maybe get a bigger line of credit, and then things don't work out. The crisis stays longer, right? And things get worse. And now you're not able to pay your mortgage payment because you have to pay 3 months worth of the past 3 months plus the 4th month. So it's really 4 payments that you got to worry about at that point. So if you put yourself in that predicament and you don't have the money to pay yourself back that you leveraged or used and things just didn't work out, what a great opportunity for the bank to snatch that right from under you and foreclose the home, because now you're 3 months behind. So they can demand that home right away. Plus, going in forbearance, let's look up the definition of that word, forbearance, because you want to be very careful. If I do this, does it affect my credit score? If I do this, does it, just ask these different questions. I've never done something like this before. I don't own a mortgage personally, so I am going to ask any and all questions. No question is a dumb question. So something like that is something I would want to, figure out. Hey, is there, what are the rules, the requirements? What happens when I go in forbearance? Does it affect my credit? Does it do this? Does it do that? How does this work? What happens if I don't have the money in that 4th month? What if I have half the money? Do I get to keep my home, or are you going to put me in foreclosure right away? Because technically you would be 4 months or 3 months behind on the mortgage if you didn't have the money to do so. So that could put you in a pickle. So that's my 2 cents on that, right? If you're doing fine financially, that's just a strategic move. Keep doing your thing. Don't try and get ahead of velocity banking. Let velocity banking do its job. I was talking to a client earlier today. I'm like, no need to freak out. As long as we remain positive cash flow, good income, low expenses, we keep doing velocity banking like nothing changed. We just keep doing our thing. Don't spend more than what you have to spend. We pretty much copy everything Debt Snowball, Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, all those debt snowballers are doing. We're copying the minimalist approach, the frugal. We're copying all of that. No spend month this, no spend month that. We're copying everything. All we're doing is adding velocity to their strategy, which increases our speed. Hence, velocity banking. It's the speed at which money moves. When you get that, your life will change, okay? So if people are doing fine financially, this ain't, you're like, man, I'm not gonna fall in that trap. But watch, a lot of people are gonna do forbearance. People have a hard time holding on to money, right? So if you do that 3 months, say your mortgage payment's $2,000 a month, so now you're $6,000 owed, and you said you were gonna use this money for this, and all of a sudden you have to use it for this, and now you're 3 months behind on your mortgage, and that's a great way for the bank to snatch that property right from under your teeth, right? Right from under your nose. So I hear what you're saying, EA, you were like, pay it back with my line of credit, hey, it depends. I already laid out. You got to know your 4 major numbers. What's the line of credit, the capital, the cash flow, the X, Y, and Z? What is the purpose of which you're doing? will you have the money guaranteed to pay back that 3 months? What is the gain from putting, offsetting 3 months? What am I doing? Am I paying off a particular debt that's going to increase my cash flow by how much and save me how much in interest? So we have to look at that, because you have to remember here, if you put a big mortgage and you put it off those 3 months, that's 3 months of more interest like accruing potentially. I don't know. So we want to look at the math behind that. How valid is that? You know, you want to look at everything. Jesus says, remember, no one will ever have the best interest of your money like you will. It's your money if you have it in your position or control. If someone else is investing or controls it, it's their money. You're right. Aaron, how you doing? I bet they're putting the 3 months at the end of the loan, or are they wanting 4 months of payments right away? That's interesting. I would ask that question. Well, no, he put it in the comments, right? EA put in the comments that at the end of the 3 months, right, I have to pay the 3 months at the end of that time period up front. So what you're saying, EA, wouldn't work. That would be pretty messed up if the bank did that. Because I'd be like, nah, I want to pay that. I want to pay those payments now, because the further I push it out, the more interest I'm going to get whacked on, and it's not going to be healthy for my financial health. Okay? So, how to give in a crisis. We went over it, talked about it. We talked about prayer, how to pray, how to improve your prayers, make them more effectively to get the results for God's will to work through your life so His will may be done on earth, hence improving your situation in a crisis. Went over the offers. Second offer, you want to take advantage of that. Now I want to go into different jobs, different works that you as an individual can get into during a crisis to potentially double your income and greatly improve your financial situation, especially if you're someone that has lost their source of income, especially if the company that you worked for is either no longer in business or has shut their doors for a temporary period of time that we don't know what that period of time is so far. Okay? So I wrote down some existing jobs that are hiring that you could do and could build your income in a very short period of time and be very effective with your time and learn something pretty cool that will stick with you for life. So let's just go down the list, and once I go through it, I would love for you to comment what you know, not what you think. If you know a job or a particular industry that is hiring like crazy right now, especially in a crisis, instead of laying off, because you're going to have companies that do a lot of layoffs, but you're also going to have companies that are doing a lot of hiring, because crisis forces people to change, adapt, and be creative. So the first job is a loan processor. Due to the crisis, you have a lot of institutions lending out money to people who what? Need money in the crisis. So loan processors are probably being overworked, underpaid, right? Well, I shouldn't say underpaid, because that's a high-paying job. Potentially, I think in the neighborhood of $30 an hour, if I'm not mistaken. So what I am saying is that they're being overworked right now and overloaded with work because so many people need help. So might want to consider being a loan processor if you have lost your job, think your job may be at risk, you're running low on cash, and you need a new idea. Loan processor. The next thing is called 3D scanning. This is interesting. This applies to the real estate world and potentially other environments as well, where you can have this piece of technology like a 360 camera walk into a home, right? Take pictures of the whole home, and you would be analyzing, taking high quality photos for the real estate agent, the brokerage, or whomever to sell that property. And now they have high quality images to promote whatever it is that they're selling. I'm sure this can apply for the hotels, maybe. This could apply to any type of business for that matter. Being able to take a 3D, shot of someone's business or institution, location, product, right? Which in this case would be a home, let's just say. And someone might pay you $50 an hour to do that, and say you do 50 homes in, I don't know how much time that takes, or you do, bring it down, maybe 2 to 4 homes a day. That's an extra $400, right? Potentially, or an extra 200 or extra 3, extra 4, say an extra $300 to $500 a week. That's $2,000 a month potentially in extra income, buying a simple 3D scanning tool and making yourself available and working extra. And what's cool about this is that all the businesses are down, or a lot of businesses are down or shut down. Not too many people are traveling or going out. So if your area is not under lockdown, what's nice is that you're going to be alone. You're not going to be around anybody. You're just going to be, taking pictures of the whole home, the environment. No one's going to be in the home. You're not affecting anybody. You're not potentially getting anyone sick. So that's something to look into. The next one is email marketing, okay? This is huge. Reaching out to, and this is the easiest, fastest way to do this, is you can, let's say, Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM, direct message, Facebook Messenger, Twitter, right? That's DMing too as well. All, you go over, look up 100 businesses that you either have purchased a product from, or you like a product, or look up 100 businesses in your local area and offer your time to them right now for a reasonable price. Negotiate with the business. Say, hey, I could do your email marketing for half whatever your email marketer is charging. Number one, because you're new at it. Number two, because you need the money. So you're willing to take whatever you can get. And you do a negotiation and say you charge half, but then you do it for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different businesses. And all you got to do is direct message the owners of the company, especially if they're small businesses, right? Go to their business pages if they have a social media presence or anything of that matter. 100 businesses. Make that the goal. You just DM. Say, hey, my name is X and X. I can do X, Y, and Z. I'd love to do your email marketing. Keep your audience engaged with your business so that when we come out of this crisis together, they will come back to your restaurant. They will come back to your bank. They will come back to your institution and continue to do business with you. That is huge. So email marketing. Next one is is tied into email marketing. Blog, posts, photos, right? Say, hey, I can do photos for you. I can make posts for your social media account. I can blog. I can write. Anyone nowadays can write. I can't tell you how many illiterate writers there are on social media with their posts, and I'm one of them. There's always a typo somewhere. So really no one's paying attention to like typos and all that stuff to a degree. In other fields, yes, like lawyer, doctor, yeah, you can't be messing things up. But for social media, I mean, you can make a typo and make it funny, right? You can do shorthand writing and make it engaging. And you can do anything nowadays and get away with it, so to speak. So that could be effective. And then the next one also ties in graphic design. Maybe you take a quick free course on Canva and learn how to make freaking cool graphics for someone that does that has a YouTube channel or an Instagram account or a Facebook, and just, hey, I can make some cool posts for you. I can help build your brand and make you more visible. Omnipresent is what they call it. This is huge stuff, right? And then when it comes to charging, basically just charge based off what you were making at your previous job, or up it a little bit, especially in terms of a crisis. You just, offer a sale. You say, hey, I normally charge $200 an hour, but during the crisis, I'm doing it for $100 an hour, 50% off. They're more likely to sign up rather than you saying, I'll do it for $100, right? There's a huge psychological difference when someone purchases something when they see 50% off, 25% off, 40%, whatever. If there's a discount involved or noticeable on, your offer, it is way more likely for them to purchase. And I've done it all the time with my own products. Like, I'll say my one-on-one coaching is normally $2,000 or $19.97, or it's always, I'm always going to say it's more than what I'm actually going to charge, always, because psychologically the person is like, damn, that thing's on sale. Now, in my particular business, my particular situation, I'm already on sale because of my age, time in business, my experience, and simply the fact that I want to compete. So when there's other velocity banking experts and coaches, and people go and say they research the area, they say, okay, Denzel's doing velocity banking. Who else is doing velocity banking? And what are they charging? And they go to their website and they see, damn, that dude's charging $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. They come to me and they see $1,497. And not only do they see $1,497, they see the original price is $1,997 or $2,000, whatever it's valued at, but it's being sold currently for $1,497. And then I tie an even bigger deal to it, where I'm like, hey, you have till this time to sign up. And by the way, I'm adding this. I'll coach you until you're debt freaking free, right? So that is compelling. And that is something that you could do in your work when you switch from job to job, is making a compelling offer for the business owner. And remember, it's only for a temporary period of time until you get out of the crisis, or maybe that can end up being a solid stream of income, and that caused you to adapt and change and do it that way. So that's huge. So 100 businesses, DM through different social media platforms or email, and tell them what you can do. Make an offer, make it compelling, right? The next one is construction. This is huge, like a construction laborer. What I've noticed is that the construction industry, especially like the ones that have one-man machines, I think they're staying in force right now. They're going to continue to work. Plus, a lot of construction companies have state contracts. So they have to stay in business. They have to keep operating, right? And so that could be a great job. Another thing is janitorial, cleaning. Oh my God, everybody's talking about hand sanitizing, staying clean and washing your hands, wash your body and do this and do that. Dude, now's the best time to get into janitorial services. I bet all the business owners are requesting janitorial services. They most likely have the equipment to keep the person that's cleaning safe. They have the mask and the whole thing. So they can go into your business and clean the whole environment, disinfect, right? So you could get into that. Maybe janitorial. I didn't write it on here, but I'm going to write it now. So maybe janitorial. But construction is huge. Construction is huge. That's going to be around. That ain't going nowhere. Things always need to be built, right? Things always need to be built, rebuilt, built again, and built up, right? Always. The next job is something that some of my clients already are doing or are thinking about getting into. Delivery jobs. Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash, Grubhub. What are the other ones? Lyft, because they have a food thing as well. Amazon Prime, delivering in those small trucks where you don't need a CDL license. And then adding on to that would be a driver, right? Or trucking, driving those big 18-wheelers. Get your CDL license. That doesn't take fairly long to get. And that could be a great way to, create another stream of income. Again, it's a one-man job. You're alone, and you're not in contact with too many people. So you're staying safe during the crisis. That's huge. What was the thing I said earlier? Construction, janitorial. Oh no, I don't know how to spell. I'm just gonna say janitor. I don't want to spell janitorial. I think it's IAL if I'm not mistaken. Janitorial. Help me out. The next one, content creator. That's what your boy Denzel is doing. Creating content, providing value to the marketplace for people to learn and grow. Okay, that's, my goodness, every business owner should be creating content. Doesn't matter how long it takes for it to grow. As long as you're consistent, it shall grow. If you're consistent, you'll get the results. It'll grow, right? And what's beautiful is eventually you'll be able to get monetized. Eventually you'll create affiliate links and referrals and tie a product to it. It's insane how quickly that can occur. So content creation. The next one is a hospital registrar. Hospital registrar. Basically someone that admits patients into the hospital. That's entry level. You could get into that. Obviously, probably nobody wants to be around hospitals right now because it's super, volatile. It's overloaded probably. But that is an industry that ain't going away. Medical, oh my God, that ain't going away. Especially in times of crisis. Everybody that's in the medical field right now working 80 hours right now. So they're going to have a ton of money and they're not going to know what to do with it. And then one day they're going to come across my channel and they'll be like, damn, I need to get in on that. And they're going to work with me, right? And so that'll be fun. The next thing, create a course. Oh my God. In addition to creating content, you always want to tie a course to it. Something that adds more exclusivity for the viewer so that you can help them change their lives even further. Go the extra mile with them. And the only way you do that is by creating a course, something that they can commit to, that you commit to, and you both are in alignment to a particular goal. And I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I'm gonna create a course this evening, right? I'm working on the name, but I get the concept that I want to do for my course. So literally, I'm gonna make a course right freaking now so that you understand how simple, it's not easy, but it's simple to do, and it's just a matter of taking action, right? Less thinking, more action in times of crisis, okay? I'm not disregarding thinking, I'm just saying, hey, sometimes we just have to act, like just do something, see what the result is, and then improve and get better, right? You sometimes you do have to experience things to know how good you are at a particular thing. So the course that I'm going to create this evening is going to be a transformation course. So if I can spell it right, transformation course. You guys can help me come up with a name. But what I'm basically going to do is this course is going to go in the manifesto. So it'll get uploaded to the manifesto after it's complete. It's going to be pre-recorded videos and some live streams attached with it. And it's going to have its own section in the manifesto once this is done. So if you're already in the manifesto, congratulations, you're getting even more value. If you're not in the manifesto, you want to sign up, it's $97 for the year or $14.99 a month. So you could pretty much cancel your Netflix and buy that, and that wouldn't affect your cash flow at all, right? It will affect your mind. It'll make you think differently. That's how powerful that course is. So $14.99 a month or $97 for the whole year, and you'll save about $80 or so if you do that. And so in addition, we're going to do this transformational course where I'm going to share my story, my journey on how I transformed my life. This is a transformational course, how to transform your life in a short period of time, reveal your purpose in life, and execute the will, the purpose that you've been given, the gifts that you have, executed into the marketplace to produce value and change people's lives, change your own life, and ultimately live at your highest potential, masterful living, right? So I'm going to share my story. I'm going to take you back before the YouTube. I'm going to take you into a crisis, a personal crisis that occurred before all of this started. I'm going to give dates, times, everything exactly to the T on how I transformed my life to the point where it's at right now, and how I'm going to continue to transform and adapt in the midst of crisis and ultimately impact lives. So I'm going to share my story, and then during the live streams, I'm going to give people the opportunity to share their story and share what it is that they're stuck on and how they can overcome it. And I want to put like some assessments and like homework and things to do and books, certain books to read and certain people to follow, and how to create a fantasy league, right? How to create a fantasy league. Basically, a group of individuals, no more than 5, let's just say, that will impact your life. Kind of like having a fantasy league in the NBA or the NFL. What if you had a fantasy league for your life? A group of highly successful individuals in the area of your gifting that you can model, right? So for me, my fantasy league is composed of only wealthy individuals that are doing what I am gifted at, right? So I have Grant Cardone in there, I got Gary Vaynerchuk, I got Tony Robbins, I got Denzel Washington, and Miles Monroe. These are like my 4 or 5 top individuals that I follow, that I try to model. I take certain things that I can apply into my life. So for example, Grant Cardone, I took 10X. That's all I took. 10X, boom, took that. Tony Robbins, that's like masterful living, mindset, perspective. Right? Denzel Washington, the camera, the acting, the talking, his persona, his charisma, like trying to adopt that in my own personal, unique way, and how I can deliver that to my audience, to my viewers, to not only entertain them, but change their lives and impact them like on a daily basis almost, right? And then Miles Monroe, he is a kingdom citizen, man of God, preacher. And I think I sometimes preach on this channel, and I believe that I can be a minister and have my own ministry one day. I believe that is in the works, and the potential is there to do that. So here I am, I'm only listening to people that will affect my life in a positive way. I'm not listening to the noise. So if you're able to remove the noise, that's a beginning step in terms of transforming your life. So you have to discover first, right? You got to discover what it is. Then you got to break through what you just discovered, and then go into that masterful living like a master, like a king, a kingdom citizen. There you go. Okay? So boom, there we go. Now we got a course. Now, where do I put the course? Okay, well, there's a lot of great platforms to use. I use Kajabi, there's Teachable, you have ClickFunnels, all have different pricing and services, different pricing amounts. I prefer Kajabi right now. I absolutely love Kajabi, and I think a lot of my clients that are on there as users do as well. But you could use Patreon. You could put your course right in Patreon. There's just so many options out there. Just research it, right? So create a course. The next one is politics. Getting into politics. Join a campaign, become a campaign manager, or get into campaign management. Get into the government. They ain't going out of business no time soon, right? Get into politics. Put your thought, your perspective out there into the world. If you're a kingdom citizen, you should be getting into politics if that's one of your desires, if that's one of your gifts, right? And you could impact politics in a positive way, cause change, maybe even replace a broken system, right? Some would say that it's, reasonable that or logical that we have a broken system in many different environments, whether that's the law or politics, the different, states. A lot of systems are broken. We could, make that an assumption and see the results and see, well, how has the government performed in the last decade, 2 decades, good or bad? What's been going on, and how can I tweak it? Or if tweaking is not the solution, but simply replacing. Sometimes we have to replace things that just simply don't work and create results, create action. So getting into politics. And then I already mentioned janitorial services. So now let's look at some of the comments here. Let me scroll back up. Kroger, Amazon are hiring. Perfect. Walmart. Perfect. Hidden says, I work in the hospital. It's crazy. Hope everyone's safe. Yep. Amazon pays $20 an hour to be a shopper or even rent a van and deliver items, right? Good money. Contractor. Perfect. Oh, yeah, a contractor. I'll write that. Become a contractor. Says, how much is the rent, van, and delivery? Well, I would assume that Amazon would provide the vehicle. You just have to have the proper maybe licensing or training, whatever that is. Instacart, okay, that's, what is that, e-commerce, online? E-commerce, that's good. Yep, Joe says, can't keep the shelves stocked, yep. Tony Robbins, Power of Focus. Denzel, VB, Steve, IBC. Oh, talking about your fantasy league. Cool. It's awesome. Yep. Cardone 10X. Joel says noise. Going back to like removing the noise, focusing on your fantasy league, also called static. Hidden says CVS is hiring. There you go. You can rent a van from Home Depot for the day, work your butt off. Okay. I would assume, I would think that they would provide the van, Amazon, for me to like deliver stuff. But if I gotta rent a van too and then just like work day by day, I guess that could potentially work, but gotta look into it. So yeah, in a nutshell, hope this was very helpful. If there are no other questions, we'll get ready to wrap up in a second here. Does anyone have any other questions? Yvonne says you can use your personal car if you want to. Okay. That could work. I'm assuming that could work for sure. Yeah, so we're going to get ready to wrap up in a second here. If you got any other questions, comment now or forever hold your peace. If not, we're going to shut things down. I think this has been effective. Hope you guys have been enjoying this. And like I said, I was going to have a little surprise at the end, right? Just kind of, learning this whole Ecamm live thing. And it's been going freaking amazing. Another thing is affiliate marketing. Oh no, did I spell it right? God, I hope I spelled it right. Affiliate marketing is powerful. And it says I can take a picture of my book for NYU. Okay. So affiliate marketing, we said CVS is hiring. We got Amazon on there. What else did we say? Walmart, we said Walmart. Just want to make sure I put it on the board so it's there. Someone else said Instacart. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming that's online e-commerce like Shopify. So Instacart, maybe Shopify, selling product online is powerful to do. Dave says, love your passion, very inspiring. Thank you, thank you. When people watch the playback on this, they're gonna be like, no, done upgraded. I'm like, no, it's the same exact platform. I just got out of my, bad habits. I have some bad habits where I just refuse to like learn some new stuff sometimes. Like I'm so bad with technology. I got an eyelash in my eye, my goodness. But I'm just so bad with technology sometimes that I get frustrated, and the way I solve that is by just making more content and getting over it. And then, or I just hire someone to do it for me. But the problem was I couldn't find anyone that knew how to use Ecamm Live to the degree that I was looking for. So, I started YouTubing. I was like, how to use Ecamm Live. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like these two dudes talking about it. And then there was a video that said how to view comments on Ecamm Live. And I was like, oh, that blew my mind. All I had to do was click a button. I was like, no, that's sick. Look at that. Oh, so Walgreens, so CVS, Walgreens, powerful, man. It's perfect. It says CVS is hiring 50,000 people. That's insane if that's true, not sure. But, all that is real good stuff. All right, guys, love you. Thank you for listening. How to give in a crisis, okay? Showed you all the offers, the prices. Everything's in the description below. If, say you wanted to create content, you want to use Ecamm Live, I have a link in the description. Here I go, affiliate marketing. See, even I'm looking for other ways to make money. I already got money, right? I'm making good money. I have a thriving business, but I'm never going to stop because there's never enough, right? You can never have or that's dangerous because the Bible talks about being content, right? Be content with what you do have, but never be content with your gift because your gift is not necessarily for you. Your gift is supposed to help others. So if you can maximize the gift and not live on, not be greedy with your gift, right? Be content. Still learning about being content. I'm sure Joel can help me here, drop a couple comments because he knows I'm riding on something here, right? So I don't want to say that you can never have enough. That's very greedy. That's coming off a bit greedy. It doesn't sound right in my head or the way I say it, but I do have a good intention of how I want to say that. I'm just having a little difficulty saying it right now. So what I'm trying to get at is, even though you could be doing well financially, this goes back to the 10x concept where you can always improve your productivity. You can always improve on your gift, and it is inevitable that the more you work on a particular thing that you become a master at it, and the more you become master over a thing, you then increase your authority as king or ruler over a particular resource. And over time, it's inevitable that you'll get paid more for that same task. So you'll work less but get paid more for it. And so when I'm looking at my money, what I'm trying to do is get further and further away from money relying on my physical activity. If I can do something one time and get paid for it over and over and over and over and over again, that is what I strive to do with my finances. Like, how can I teach velocity banking over and over and over and over and over and over and over again without actually physically being there, working, right? And then once I've gotten to that point, then I take on a new skill and then I start building from scratch again. And now I've got 2 talents, right? So maybe I'm that guy in the Bible that started off with 1 talent and now I got 2. I made 1, 2. I didn't stick it in the dirt, right? Just like with my money, I'm not sticking my money in the dirt. I'm continuing to maximize my gift, turn it into 2 gifts, make 2 4, 4 8, and then have infinite amount of gifts to provide to the world. So hopefully I'm on the, right path there and not getting out of hand. Your gift is for the world, Joel says. You never stop in your work. That's true. Just your job, correct? As you seek the kingdom, all things will be added. Money will follow you, correct? Remember how I said money needs attention. So the more attention you get, so when you're looking for your job, you got to get attention. How do I get attention? By creating an irresistible offer through that email. You say, hey, typically I charge $200 an hour, but I'm doing it for $100. You already were going to settle for $100. So you just increase the value. Say it's 50% off, so it's $100, right? And then if the business owner is still not biting, then you just increase the work. Keep the price, but maybe increase the work a little bit. Or maybe decrease the work and decrease the price, keep the work the same. Keep the same job, but maybe say $75 an hour, right? Say you were getting paid $20 an hour. That's a huge jump from making $20 an hour to maybe $100 an hour or $75 an hour, whatever it is, right? So you want to make that irresistible offer to impact that person. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say. Love you guys. That'll be it for this evening. All right, enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless, okay? Start with monthly income first.
$6,285.12.
Monthly expenses. Total debt.
$25,000. So policy number 1, the cash value that I have in there is $11,000.
We currently owe $25,000. $9,205 is going to be my highest chunk recommendation. And between 9,900 is what I'm going to shift onto the Navy Fed card at 0%. And you have a $10,000 HELOC, 14K balance come July. We are structuring a policy for him to fund, to get started with, so I'm pretty excited.